Hey, you all, this is Paula. This is after 11 on a Friday, 2024 of December. It's almost Saturday morning. I just woke up from a nap and I'm just part of my grieving. The Lord told me to just do this. And this is about, it was so exhausting after we had lost almost everything. It's the aftermath of losing everything. And this is part of my grieving. So as my abstract art is Essence Paula Abstract Art and others. I did a book of S, it's my journal, and it was for 2023-24 and advocate for mental health. And I was just with this organization, circles of the in Carrollton. It was circles of West Georgia, but I was just listening and everything. But anyway, they had blessed me with this book, and so I started journaling in it. This is all the timing of journaling in 2023, 2024, and I'm grieving where it was so exhausting. Um, God took me off my job in 2022 while my mom was in a nursing home for 3 years because she was in memory care because she had dementia, which Lord rest in peace. She died February the 18th, 2022, and we agreed for her to be cremated. So I have her here with me, and I was going to pour ashes, but it's just not time yet. So it's just me and my children. So anyway, you know, it, you have to get this out of you. Even though I have a therapist for 50 minutes a week now, started off 8 years ago for 30 minutes on a Friday. But I was homeless and everything. If you can hear, as you can, view my other, um, view my other, um, videos on the channel of mental health is real. Mental illness is real as well. And not knowing that when I got diagnosed that I been living with bipolar 2 disorder. And so um, it was very exhausting as the only child, and my grown children can do so much because they're very young. I have a 37-year-old son. Gave me three grands, so they're about teenagers and a 5-year-old, and then I got a 29-year-old daughter and a 24-year-old daughter that's just trying to get their life together in finishing school or what have you. So it was so exhausting. My mom was on she had been smoking all her life, and she was on those tanks, you know, and we had the big tanks, and I had to learn what level them for them to be in, and I was also over my uncle's estate and helping with him because she couldn't do it from the get go. So she had started being over his account and started, just well, I tell you one thing, she really had her flowers before she died. She was able to just enjoy and uh, got a brand new Cadillac and stuff in cash, and I would just drive her around, and we bought me a house and everything, and trying to help, and then help out with my family, which my children and stuff. But what the real exhausting part is when we lost everything. Like the money ran out, okay? And I'm still, you know, uh, battling with, just trying to keep up my bills. But I'm so grateful the life I have now. Um, when I was living in my truck after she put me out, because see, I sold my house, and I end up doing stuff for my family and getting me a truck and everything. So when I was parked at this gas station, like a QT or whatever, because that's where I was asleep in my truck at 24/7 places. I heard the Lord say green pastures. And he said green pastures because this man pulled up in Douglasville in like a 45-minute from Atlanta, where I'm born and raised. He pulled up and some cows was in the back of the thing. He was gassing up. When I turned around, I wasn't really up on where they was at. I was like across the way at the door of the store, and they was at the gas pump. And when I looked back, I saw that cow, and I saw his big old eye, and I heard green pastures because these cows, that's where they be eating, and they on a land of green pastures. And so they were like moo, and it was so beautiful. But I kept green pastures in my spirit, and the end up green pasture was the one that cremated my mom. It was a black owned uh, funeral home, and plus he owned the whole block, and that was over there in Cobb County where she was at in Powder Springs. So all this writing here, the exhausting, I had to end up just writing still what was going on then in 23, 24. Even though she died in 22, I'm still grieving. This is from the grieving, just writing, just grieving and just being exhausted, just when I moved in with her and stuff, it wasn't easy, and I was being triggered. Um, uh, at the time, I was having, you know, just going through different things with people in my circle. I was being triggered with them, and I had to, even then and now that I could write about it, this is what I would always say: forgive, repent, and love. Peace be still, to quiet my mind down. And I have to take medicine for bipolar to keep my brain chemically balanced because it was unbalanced. And when someone could be chemically unbalanced, people can really hurt themselves and hurt others. So it's up to you. You got to really also be able to have that mind, that uh, frame of mind to also realize what's going on. And some people, if they schizophrenic, then it really gets out of order where they would hurt someone and everything. So it was just so exhausted after we had lost. I mean, the money just was gone. We lived off of it for 3 years. Being over my uncle's estate, he died, rest in peace, 95 years old. And as I was waking up on and off, because I'd be up at night doing my YouTube as a full YouTuber, I was 24/7. So then once I got over 400 and something videos, then God told me to just, you know, uh, post as I'm led and just to keep posting, but I post what's in my guts, So this is what I was led to talk about, and also to, spread the word with it. to help feed my subscribers and to help somebody, you know. And then also, you may get off, everything is mental. So you may start talking about what's really going on as you read the room, as they say, about all this crypto stuff. So, but anyway, even I was just living here and there, and it was just so exhausted. And Jen trying to take care of her. I ended up getting a job, but it was part time. I was working with mental health, people with mental illness that was in the mental hospital and stuff. And even it was being exhausting, just even to start to keep up, to be a mentor to them. It was triggering me and start being exhausting to me with the peers. I would get up and then feel like coming to work, and it was a type of job where you have to have somebody to fill in for you. If you don't, you have to let them know a day or so earlier, and I didn't like that at all. I just didn't like that. Then we had a person that was over everybody in this organization. Uh, After God took me out, removed me, and He removed everybody else out because the place ended up just not running very, you know, uh, smooth and stuff. It was a lot. So this person, and when they finally got the director and stuff, they, would talk to people like shit, and see, all of us had to be diagnosed and be able to be to work there so we could be able to relate to the peers, which I thought was a good idea. But then the staff started triggering each other. So as my channel is about, uh, globally speaking, about my experiences as I live with bipolar 2 disorder and being diagnosed at, I'm 58, so a couple of years ago, finally finding out what was going on with me. I was led to also just talk about grieving, which is now in menopause, and talk about how I observe the peers and still stay in touch with them now, and talk to them, and it's basically when some of them you talk to, excuse me, they deal with a certain schizophrenia stuff. They say the same thing over and over and over, and sometimes it's like, what is it now? Is it anything? If they call, they like to tell me the good news, and I said that's wonderful. Some just like to talk, and then some just say stuff over and over and over again, and stuff, and so, but just I get, I go, I still relive this stuff, it is about my mom. It was so hard, she had COPD. She had a lot of stuff going on, high blood pressure, diabetes. Well, she was able to regulate her diet real well. It's just that, excuse me, you're talking to somebody with dementia. She always knew who I was, but just to have these CNAs or whoever would come in, excuse me, we didn't have a 24/7. But after I was put out, after I had to move into the high rise with her to help her, I was so glad that they put me out. She's supposed to have been this manager over this, place over there in Greenbrier, where everybody was scared of her. It was a big old woman, with big bucky eyes, and like she intimidate people and stuff. And so it tickled me. So God had to humble me, to deal with her, to work with her. So as I was just being driven, triggered, and everything, it was so good that, my mom went downstairs and told her that, we couldn't live together. And we never really couldn't. We realized that when I was in high school, my mom was so strict on me, we couldn't live together, but we could talk on the phone all day. And people always say, "Oh, your mom loved you so much," and blah 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 blah. But that's another video. You know, I would fight for my mom. I mean, when I felt like somebody was mistreating her and everything, my mom knew who I was. I would, you know, huh, they better watch out. I would strike on them. So anyway, this is something that when I was homeless, they would give us at the doctor I go to for about 8, 9 years. It's a little blanket I put over me when I'm sitting on the in this chair, and have my feet propped up. Um, I'm so grateful. So also I learned over 10 something years ago when I was in my second marriage was to sketch. That was another way to get things out of me, as I am Paula, advocate for mental health. This was advocating for me, my sketches and everything. So of course the dates are so important for me. This is not for everybody. And I call it the Essence Paula Museum Abstract Art. And a lot of people not ready for this. It's my sketches and my computer art. I realized that, a lot of us being the chosen one in God's eagle eyes, this one called self-love. I would just go by when I prayed and fast. This here, this is what comes about. I just draw. I just feel the vibe and the energy. I go by the energy and vibe and just let it go, let it be free. This was my escape world. It didn't come back in my markers and fill it in. And this is what I do with people for it's called spiritual awakening sessions. I guess I'm called a spiritualist. This is called New York Broadway. I was some of these I was feeling really good and just doing some things, but I had to go there. This is my escape. Like I said, all of this, most of this 2023, 24, and this was my season of. I have a novel of these that I have a lot of sketchbooks of sketches I've done, and like I say, a lot of people not ready for this. It's not for everyone, and you have to really be in the spirit and know how to go into the spirit realm to really see things the way God has me to sketch. And a lot of times it's the sketches are in codes, you know and God just that's how he had me to sketch and stuff. So yeah, I said this the lead actress on EP Broadway, Essence Paula Broadway. I just try to get more into happiness. And of course, this is a lady. You can't see her eyes and stuff. These are the moles and lips. And I just sketch. And these are you only be able to see that done in my in my spiritual awakening sessions. How I do that. Go back in and fill it in. But it's like you all would do it as well, and it's so fun. It's so it's you make it be fun. You make it be fun. So, oh boy, Um, sorry about that. I would color every other one. This is the model of my Essence Paula, which is EP magazine. I just give it little names and everything. I just it's just escaping. It's just escaping and everything. Like I say, everybody not ready for my kind of sketches and art and stuff. It's not for everybody. And I met a little boy one time. I was being a nanny for a second because I was homeless. He sketched as well, so we understood each other, but I wasn't there long. His mom tried to take advantage of me. She was from Nigeria or somewhere, but you know, I call this the Jazz Funk Sisters. Kind of jazzy. These are supposed to be their outfits, and it's not like a normal outfit, but it's by how I draw their face first and their eyes, and then I will, do the sketches all over and let it form itself. So they just standing next to each other, and I just see them spirits. It's something like this is the energy I felt, and if you're in the spirit realm, you could feel the vibe off of them, and you can tell a story from it. You know. But yeah, we lived off my uncle's estate for 3 years, and it got really rough. I knew it was going to happen because I was trying to. Well kept is named this one. That means she's been well kept, and I was trying to get my business going to get income coming in, and all of a sudden it was very humiliating. We had to sell stuff. We had to donate. I had to go to the food pantry, get food. I was cooking for my mom 3 times a day. I had to sleep with my clothes on and ask friends to buy stuff from, and they wasn't friends no how. After all these years, they wasn't friends. They was talking about me and everything. So I always would forgive her because I knew, but I just thought it was just her just being, who she were. So this is the secret place. I sketched me a secret place. So it's a secret place where, you escape into your own world. And so it was humiliated. And I asked God, sometimes you ask God, where are you? God, where are you? And God, he would let me know. He said, I'm right here. I'm right here. He allow you to go through this kind of stuff. So because I know one time this old so-called friend of mine said, why people that is in, that ordained or in the church or whatever, she knew me growing up in church and stuff, why they suffer so, and I didn't get to answer the question because I didn't have the answer at the time, but now I do. The name of this is Losing Energy. And so it's well, the reason why we go through, because many of us was called, but a few of us was chosen. Many of us was called, and the few of us that was chosen, God have us to suffer like Jesus did, and that's why He always say, this battle is not yours. This is not about you or me. This not even our battle. The battle has already won because Jesus died for us, for our sins. He died for this. We were born into sins, so Jesus couldn't save everybody. He couldn't save the world. He only saved the people that believed in him. Of course, bored and depressed. I just went through. This is almost like I say, 2023. It's still part of the grieving, and even now, just thinking back to my mom and writing the obituaries for my other uncle and stuff that ran the family business. So I had to write three obituaries back to back within the years, not actually back to back like year to year. It was just a couple of years in between there. So they had their moments. They didn't get along at times, but they did get along enough to be there for each other as I got older and found out. That's why you got to be careful when you going through something, and children can pick up on adults, whatever it is they can pick up. I call this a novel character. I just say she's the character of my novel. So I just did it in pen, like I said, be it pencil, colored pencil, sometime crayon. I would sketch. This is, it's just something, I don't know why. It's just something that women, men too, they go through a lot. Women, um, we can also take men through a lot. And I know that's what I did with my first and second husband, because I live with mental illness, which is on both sides of my family. But my thing, like I said, as a mentor, is to teach people that we could still live and have a great life. And I'm at a better point of my life than anything. I dream, I prayed about this life 30 years ago, and but it may not seem like all that grand to anybody else, but it's better where I'm at than I were, you know, years ago. Um, this is called betrayal. Betrayed it. I have been through that a lot, but what I was saying, like, you know, even though I found out, I finally got a word to what's going on with me, but again, this is exhausting. I'm still grieving. And when I say I'm in a better place than I were before, I may not be where I really want to be, but I am in a better place because I lived in my truck almost 3 years off and on. And I only worked part time and was in the hotel, for a week, spending my whole check. And then the next week, my mentor, he would help me. Bless his heart. I'm just so grateful. So I've been doing abstract art over 10 years now. It started with my second husband because I was going through so much. This is royalty. I don't know how I come up with these names, but I pray that someday that it will be, before I leave this earth, that it will be on display and everything, because it's if anybody else don't think enough of it, I do. I do. And and this is something that you wouldn't really see, you know. Like I said, this may be before a lot of people time, and maybe it is right over someone's head. A lot of people not ready for my art and everything, and that's like that with a lot of people gifts. Your gifts don't belong to you. Your gifts is to share with the world. Loyalty, that's another loyalty. I don't know why at the time, the vibe and everything, I just needed someone to be loyal, so I just sketched, you know. Um, Caregiving is just not an easy thing at all. Even though that's your calling, you're able to embrace it and do it. But I could not embrace it. I couldn't understand what dementia was about. I still don't. Even with my friend is in a group home, she got long term, short term memory. So she thinks in her head she's okay. because she takes a shower every day, and she's now got money. This is Soul. So she got money now after she lost her house and took care of her mom. She died, and her brother died, middle brother died. She only got her older brother now. But she didn't get no money out of it. She was flat broke, had to live with people. She and I had fell out because she triggered me, you know, and everything. So, but she's in a good state. She can't drive anymore. Her brother took her car, so she can't drive anymore because she forget where she's at. But you can't tell her that she's not in her right mind and stuff. You can't tell her why she's just living in a group home. She'll say, "Oh, I'm just in a group home because my brother don't want me to live with her." So this is a jazz dancer. So there's a stories. I'm telling the stories is behind my abstract art. You know, I love jazz music because my father was a jazz drummer. He died when I was 5. He had a heart attack at the wheel. I remember him, but I just so jazz dancer. This is just part of the vibes and just part of my living with bipolar 2 disorder. The different characters that that I feel and see, and energy and spirits, and you know um some of these may look familiar to you. You could pick up in a spirit. This may remind you of a family member or something. My mom was a Mary Kay director, so she was in makeup a lot. So, but I don't wear it too much. So, but yeah, so she thinks she's okay, and I call her and laugh and have fun with her, boss chick. Sometimes you just have that boss attitude, and I go through that at times. And but I stay humble. This just a sketch of it, just feeling that way. You have to motivate yourself because, like I said, being exhausted in the aftermath of losing everything. And when I say losing, I don't mean like I had to leave it somewhere. I basically sold it, and everything, and had to donate a lot. And so, like I said, the humiliation part is my mom and I, we just went down to nothing. When she put me out, I didn't talk to her for a whole year. It was like, whatever, you know. Um, the neighbors, people looked after. Well, the caregiver would come in every day, so we're still friends. She's an older lady; she's retired now, and she said she understood what I was going through. I had already went through a divorce a couple of years before then, and it was just so much, and trying to help her with her sibling, my uncle, taking care of his house. And, I've had 3 houses that, I bought uh, 2 of them and lost one, sold 2. So if that makes sense. Candle. The name of this is Candle. As you can see, it's still ladies. I guess it's just what I feel, what I picked up on. And like I say, I was over my mom's, managing her finance, and I had to take it out the bank and pay the neighbor to take it to her because I didn't want to see her. That was a whole year. I just felt rejected. I felt alone. I felt hurt. I was contemplating suicide. This is called the art dealer. That's what I was, an art dealer in Douglasville. That's what they named Essence Paula Abstract Art. That's the category you put it in.